My unique ability to make pieces of a mystery fall away before my eyes has once again brought me to a place in which I haven't spent that much time, about which I know very little. The United Kingdom. We have this amazing Jaguar XFR, which inexplicably has a children's logo in the middle of the steering wheel. We will learn about why that's the case. And then, the real question, the real mystery is, why do people in England drive on the left side of the road? And I'm not being snarky, I genuinely don't know. And it's very dangerous to be in a car with me, this powerful, in England. Thank God JF was the one who filled out the papers for this press car, because if anyone at Jaguar knew how irresponsible it is to let me take a car this powerful and drive it in a country where I have to drive on the opposite side of the road, well, that would make anyone burp, and I just did. We're talking a 5-liter V8 supercharged with 510 horsepower, and let me take this and drive it on the, I'm not going to say wrong side of the road, on the side of the road opposite to which I'm accustomed. They would never have handed the keys over, never. I've never owned a Jaguar, but I've always wanted one. Now, to say that that's a bad idea is besides the point. I own a Citroën SM, the classic, beautiful car with problems. Look at the history of Jaguar. The XKE, it's in the MoMA. It's arguably the most beautiful car ever made, but unreliable. Even Jaguar will admit that, and extremely expensive to fix. The cars that I love from Jaguar, the XK from the 70s, the car from the Saint, the Vandenplas, all awesome. Modern Jaguars are very different. Allegedly, modern Jaguars are reliable, and I actually like this styling, but it's been a controversial shift from the classic Jaguar lines. I happen to like the new XJ, and I kind of like the XK. But I think the best looking Jaguar made today is this, the XF. And the best XF you can buy is this exact car, the XFR. As an owner of several E39 M5s, which everybody knows I think is the best large sports sedan ever made, the XFR is an assault at what the M5 represents. BMW invented this segment. Mercedes brought AMG to the battle. Audi has brought, from time to time, something to the table, but they're not consistent about it. And only in recent years has Jaguar decided that they were going to launch attack after attack on what the M5 and the AMG brands represent. The XFR is the car representing this attack. The XJ doesn't really have, it's too big. And nothing else they make is targeted here. At $80,000. Is it?
This car?
Yeah.
This is over 100.
All right, so no matter how great this car may be, and I'll say right off the bat, I like it, Jaguar's coming in at $100,000, $110,000 depending on the exchange rate. That's a huge dollar figure. Far more than an M5, more than an E63. I mean, Audi has taken grief for bringing in, the RS6 at ridiculous prices. But this thing is really, really expensive. What do you get for that money? All right, you get a really handsome car. Is it better looking than an M5? It's as good looking, maybe. Is it faster? Maybe in a straight line, maybe. Does it handle any better? Definitely not. Is the interior better? No. So what are you getting for $110,000? You're getting something Audi used to offer. Jaguar is offering really the only Q car left. If you want an understated sedan that's incredibly powerful, that's sporty, fast, that no one will notice, this is the car for you. This is the car I imagine if Volvo made an S80R, it would be just like this. And that's the problem. Volvo makes great cars at prices 20% below what they probably could justify based on their build quality. Jaguar is offering a car 20% more expensive in the competition that they want so much to beat. The upsides, this car is really good looking. It's really understated. It's understated the way Audis used to be. Audis are no longer subtle cars, but this is a very subtle car. And I think it's an important step forward in a way that XJ isn't. This is, I think, the finest looking Jaguar in a long, long time. The interior is modern, cool. Nav screen's a little small. I like all the controls except for the nav, which really does feel comparable to my 12-year-old E39, certainly in terms of UI speed. Dash is cool. The sunroof, black, doesn't open. In fact, the roof, once rubbed with a hand looking for the sunroof control, looks like attacked by bear claws. In fact, I think this has the bear claw roof option. Seats, incredibly comfortable. Driving position's fantastic. The power is wonderful. But it doesn't feel like a car that had dozens of people laboring for years to make sure it was the absolute best it could be. It is a great car. But you know, when BMW rolled out the new M5, that was absolutely the best M5 they could make. This feels like the XF, which is a great car, with more power. Better brakes, tires, but that's all it feels like. And I'd be perfectly happy just with an XF, which is a great car at a much better value. But I will say this, the XFR accomplishes something Audi has not, and I don't think will accomplish for a long time. It's a car in segment which is not the craziest overpriced car, and we can say that about the RS6. I was done reviewing this very nice but overpriced English car like no one's ever said that before. It was time to see, of course, my old friend Ross. Not Mr. Ross, not even Michael Ross, just Ross.
The Sergio of England. I hope I'm not interrupting, Mr. Ross.
Mr. Roy, at last. Do come in.
Pleasure to see you, my friend. I hope you don't have too many guests here that
No more than usual.
I want to meet.
Ross is one of the veteran endurance drivers. He's one of the masters of endurance high-speed driving outside of a legal organized event. One of the original drivers on Gumball, who taught me much of what I know, who invited me to go in his Bentley around the world in the Gumball 06, which we won, based largely on his wisdom. Ross is a great, great man. He's a great, great man.
I see in your driveway you still have your BMW Z8.
Did you seriously think it wouldn't be that?
I just thought, you would purchase this Aston, you might let it go, and I would have been very offended had you sold it without talking to me, because I do recall you made a commitment to give me the right of first refusal should you choose to sell it.
Clearly, first refusal in the event.
The event.
But as I think I've mentioned to you before, I do plan to live forever.
To be clear, my Porsche 87 Targa that you...
Which I enjoyed, most definitely.
Which you're understating now your delight when you actually drove it. I recall how much you liked it. I was wondering under what circumstances you might consider an agreement, say, should anything happen to me, given my lifestyle, it's much more likely that anything happens to you, I would will you the Targa, but I would do this on the condition you might offer me a reciprocal arrangement.
Of the Z8.
Yeah.
I'm using your terminology, it's really a Z8, but...
which is arguably far more expensive, I understand. But
at that point in our lives, that's not the point. It's about how much these cars mean to each of us, respectively.
my car means nothing to me. I want your Z8. Give it a second. In all seriousness, would you? You won't part with that car.
Whilst I'm alive? No.
Okay. If I wanted to acquire one before you move on to auto heaven, would you let me possibly test drive that car before I leave for France?
The purpose being,
To see if I still believe, if it's as good as, to lower the value of the car in case I trick you into selling it to me. No, really, we just
do you not believe me when I say it's wonderful?
I haven't driven it in years. Just 10 minutes.
Right.
Why not?
In seriousness,
Yeah.
I don't let anyone drive it.
I've driven Ross's Z8 at length. He and I drove the Z8 together from London to Portofino, Italy, in a rally in 2005 and won. However, the last time I did drive it, I received one of the worst tickets I've ever been gifted with. It was a ticket straight to jail.
Is it because
Even you.
Is it because I'm American and I drive on the side of the road, you don't trust me when I crash the car?
You got the worst of both worlds, in as much as all Z8s have a steering wheel left-hand drive. We drive on the left here.
Among the many topics I knew Mr. Ross could speak on that JF could not was the wisdom of driving on the wrong side of the road, or as Clarkson would say, on the right side of the road, the incorrect side of the road for most of us. And unbelievably, Ross had an answer.
Why do people drive on the other side of the road here?
There's a number of stories, and I think that it dates way, way back to the days of jousting and
Are you serious?
knights in armour.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you think about how the horses and the guys jousting.
So in countries where they don't use shields in the Middle Ages, like in Japan, I mean, why do they follow the English model of driving on the left?
They're confused. I think that part of it, yeah, I mean, we have roundabouts, you in the States.
No, we're hardly ever.
Tend not to. We like to go clockwise on roundabouts.
That's the reason.
That's my reason.
I mean, I don't believe. I mean, I hate to put it this way, but if that's the explanation you're going to foist on me, clocks did not exist as we know them with functioning hands 1,000 years ago. But there were buggies and horses.
Do you think that in those days they cared which side of the road you were on?
They had sundials. But yeah, of course they cared which side of the road they were on. It's true.
Time for Wikipedia.
Can I drive your car?
No. Would you like a ride in my car?
Absolutely. Yes.
The ideal, we'd have a Z8 each.
Yeah, that'd be ideal. That's just not an
It's
option.
not going to happen today,
No, it's not going to happen ever because the cars are appreciating, which you know.
dramatically.
Yes. Well, let's check out the car. That was perfect timing.
Austin Powers takes it again.
So you leave him on all the time just in case he interjects the right moment?
Well, he generally does.
Even though Ross agreed to leave me the car in his will in return for my leaving him my '87 Targa in my will, I was disappointed to find out that Ross would not let me drive the Z8, not until the man was dead. I've been to the UK a number of times. I'd have to say this trip was both the most thrilling and, well, the things that I dreamt of doing my whole life did happen. I did get to go on some amazing driving roads. I got to drive some amazing cars. I hung out with Chris Harris. I got to see some animals that I've eaten. Visit the Morgan factory. Saw cars I couldn't afford. Got to drive a Morgan three-wheeler. I saw Stonehenge, but did not see Woodhenge. Did not visit Loch Ness. Did not visit the real town where they shot the TV show The Prisoner. Did not get to go to the shopping mall converted into a zombie theme park. But none of those things matter because we had an amazing time. We shall return to investigate the mysteries of Scotch distilleries, lake monsters, and secret RAF bases from the Cold War. None of that matters right now. That's next season.
Oh, curious, did you buy this Z8 new?
Yeah.
Really? And did you know that you wanted to buy it the instant when?
I used to think you were crazy, but now I can see it.
I had the number plate which was perfect for the car.
Right.
I was at home on a Sunday, reading the Sunday Times, motoring section, Jeremy Clarkson.
Does technical John make you holy, baby?
Sometimes, dependent upon who's delivering it. And the article was about the new BMW flagship two-door sports, which was going to be called the Z8. And I had the number, and I thought, I'm going to have to get the car. And I actually ordered it the next day.
And what did Clarkson say about the car?
It's irrelevant.
Yes.
He doesn't know what he's talking about in many occasions, many
true.
instances. I don't actually think that he'd driven it at that point. He was talking about the concept, where the design and the inspiration had come from, the 507 from the 1950s, the whole design ethos leading from that. So he hadn't driven it at that point.
What did the car cost in 2000?
80,000 sterling.
It's really odd because I've never seen one for less than 100,000 used, and often far more.
They did dip, but they've moved up quite strongly now.
It's really odd, especially for BMW, because I mean there's some great BMWs, but generally, you know, SLs and BMW 8 Series and 6 Series do not appreciate. And this car, for some reason, has obviously become something for you that is beyond a car. My mother says it's her dream car. I've always wanted one.
It's art.
Yeah,
It's
it really
art
is.
that drives really well. And I think that one of the reasons that it's appreciated is the thing that differentiates it so dramatically is it's not one of a series of cars. It's not, 3 Series, 5 Series, 8
It's a
Series,
one-
whatever, that has, after 4 years, got an evolution that follows it. It was built, it was designed, built, sold, end of.
I'm trying to think of what other cars have followed that example in that they were not reissues, they were reimaginings of a classic design which came back and then went away again. The Ford GT is an example of that, which in fact was nothing. That's what the Ford GT would say if it was a person. But it was nothing like the original Ford, race car, and yet it looks very much like it, and it's a little more practical. I don't say it's practical in a sense.
Probably fitted with the same ethos as the Z8, which was imagine that original car had been in production ever since and had evolved gradually. What would it have been now?
So you obviously didn't feel that way about the Bentley GT you owned.
Far too many of them on the road. It could never fit that category.
And your Aston Vanquish.
Oh yes, I've got an Aston
Which I
Vanquish.
don't see in the
I've
driveway.
forgotten.
But what happened? Where's that from?
It's with Aston Martin at the moment. My Aston gets homesick, and it goes to the factory work service.
It has been said that Astons are equipped with the world's largest magnet installed in the radiator, which is specifically tuned to guide it back to the dealership so it can feel more at home. I feel about 7 or 8 different cars I own.
Austin, that's enough.